I can't remember
La-
which episode this is now.
we're large and in charge.
6?
I mean, we're definitely not large. I'm not sure we're even in charge, but
We're trying to be.
are we on 6?
6, maybe. We are
Something like that.
5 or 6. Let's just go with that.
We're one
But
episode closer to 10.
yeah, let's see it like that. Wouldn't it be great if Universe made us 10? It won't make us to 10, I don't think.
No, if we're on 6 now, so we've got Northeast, and then after that is
First timers,
first timers,
naturals,
naturals, and
the
then the
PCA.
qualifier. So if
Would
we're
that be
on
10?
6, 7, 8, 9,
9, 10?
10, and then it'd be 11.
That would be such a celebratory episode. The
We've made it
pre-show.
past the
Yeah,
10
we've got it.
stigma barrier.
Downhill from there. But no, that would be so good. That's a sign. We need to keep going for all of our 2 listeners.
I'm excited to do the commentary on Universe. I feel like that's going to be a bumper episode.
Yeah, 2-part
Stay
special.
tuned for a 2-hour.
Yeah. For all you girls that are doing cardio throughout that summer, we got you covered.
Just in that one episode.
Yeah.
You will be entertained.
So we are doing, it was was it Northwest?
West.
That's just been, and it's Northeast that's coming this weekend. So covering the
Mm-hmm.
Northwest. The only thing we did touch on is the fact that the reels are covering, we're not seeing a lot. Considering Bikini, we do need to see that lower half. We will do our best, but
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there. Kind of
zoomed
cropped off
in.
at the knee. It's super zoom.
We will not be judging anyone's calves. Don't you worry. If you have weak calves, you're out.
Obviously, we're going to do our best, but bear in mind, we can only judge what we can see. But yeah, I don't know why that is. It's not like it's a new venue either, so I'm not sure why it's zoomed in so close. And we had some heads blocking our view as well.
Yeah, it was poor Kelly's. Poor Kelly's reel. There was a head. Luckily, they moved out of the way by the time she walked to the front, but they
Indeed.
bobbed along.
Yeah, but it's fine. These things happen. We're professionals. We make it work.
And
We say.
Fit Model, there was finally more than one person in the Fit Model class. It's been a bit quiet for a few weeks. So we can go through, there was Freya, Danica. Please tell us how to pronounce your name.
Yeah, is it Danica or
Danica or
Danica?
Danica? Sorry, because we will keep bodging it until you correct us. And then there
Yes,
was
please
Kelly.
do.
And what we did really like is, in fact, Freya's obviously not competed before, but Danica, I'm just going to have to stop saying the name. Danica, you've competed, and so's Kelly, and you obviously both got different placings. So this is where I'm really excited for Universe, because it is going to really, if you're all, hopefully all you Fit Model girlies are going to be going to Universe, get you all in a line. It's just going to really help everyone, not only yourselves, but everyone be able to address like what PCA are really looking for when it comes to Fit Model, which is exciting.
I think that's the thing. That's the exciting thing about Universe every year, I think, is that it's the first championship show that kind of sets the tone in terms of what is the standard for this year. You can use Worlds as like the last champion show as a benchmark, but that doesn't necessarily reflect on what the standard is that's coming through so far this year. Because I'm still getting a lot of comments from people, which is like, oh, I didn't think that's what PCA would be looking for when they're looking at the winners. And I'll say this once, I'll say it again. You have to take the regional results with a pinch of salt, because the judges can only place what's up there, and how people place is just a reflection of who closest fits the category criteria. Like if there isn't a perfect match for the category criteria, they have to place the closest person, and that is just determined on who turns up on the day. So when you've got a congregation of all of the top people in one place, which will be Universe, then you get a better idea of what PCA are saying in terms of what they're expecting for their categories. But Fit Model is particularly exciting because it's new, but it's also the benchmark for all of the categories, and just giving an idea of the direction that PCA are favouring.
Definitely. So it's going to be exciting, but thought we'd go through. So Freya was the winner when it came to fit model. I would again, I really like Freya's look. I think she is very fit model. This is why the category has come about. Her posing was really nice. It flowed.
Hmm.
There was a nice bit of confidence. Couple little posing tweaks, but again, that could just be the more she gets on stage, it could just be a nerves thing. But we can see nice full glutes. There is a little bit of muscle in her back. We've got to bear in mind
Hmm.
this isn't about just being who's as skinny as possible, little as possible. We still want to see some muscle there. But she's carrying herself nicely, nice big smile. Always think that just makes such a big difference when someone's smiling on
Hmm.
stage.
Oh yeah, 100%. I do think though, when it comes to smiles, because I hear this a lot where you'll hear people shouting, smile, smile. And it's like sometimes that doesn't fit with that person's personality. Do you know what I mean? Like I know plenty of people that don't smile on stage, but they're
Mhm.
still engaging to look at because they're just being confident.
Yeah,
Like if I think of a prime example of that, like Val is like an amazing bikini competitor that a lot of you listening will know about in current day generation. But I wouldn't say that she's known for being a super
yeah,
smiley bikini competitor, but it doesn't take away from her confidence on stage
yeah.
because she's still delivering what is the best representation of her confidently. So if because I think there's nothing worse than someone smiling full teeth when they wouldn't normally do that because it
Yeah.
ends up being like Wallace and Gromit.
I think it's like it with posing as a whole, isn't it? Like this is
Yeah.
where posing you shouldn't just copy what someone else is doing
Mm,
because this is where you need to bring what you are on stage. And I
yeah.
always use the comparison, like if you look at like top in the world, if you look at Olympians, when you've got like Ashley and then you've got Laura Lee. Ashley
Hmm.
is a very smiley person and Laura Lee is a very sultry person. Like she'll put
Yes.
a smile in there, but she poses like with her eyes and she
Yes.
poses like with her movements, whereas Ashley is a
Hmm.
bit like boppy and a little bit jolty sometimes, and then
Hmm.
she just smiles and she just kind of that's a pose, but I'm just going to keep smiling. Whereas Laura Lee creates a
Yeah.
bit more performance with it. So this is the
Yeah.
thing. Don't I couldn't perform like Laura Lee because I would be far too awkward. I am definitely more than Ashley. Like I'm smiley and bubbly, but then yeah, you've got to bring what your personality is. If
Mm.
you're not naturally like hi, smiley and all this, and you're naturally someone who wants
Mm.
to present a bit more, like do it. As long as you can do it in
Yeah.
the way, there's nothing worse. Like you said, someone trying to be smiley that
Yeah.
isn't. And then on the flip side, if someone tries to be so like expressive, but they're naturally
Yeah.
not, and then they just kind
Hmm.
of look like they're second guessing because they want to
Yes.
be doing these movements, but they're like, oh, I don't. And then their head goes in and the chins come out, and because they're just not sure. And if you're not sure, we're not sure.
Yeah, no, it's second guessing, self-doubt, doing something that fundamentally makes you uncomfortable. All of those things read in your body language.
Mm,
And so you want to make sure that however you're presenting yourself, it's just confident. Like I've done it before. Like I look back at my first show where I literally because I was told smile on stage, and I literally went on with this, and it didn't move the whole
yeah.
time, and I just looked like a psychopath. Like because I don't even think I blinked. So it's just like so yeah, just like don't be afraid to just be natural with your facial expressions and uh smize with your eyes, as Tyra Banks would say. Is
Mm.
that's probably an old reference for the kids. Sorry, I'm nearly 40. But like, just express yourself in a way that is true to you.
Yeah.
Um, but like you say, I think people forget this. Like, fit model is like the type of look that you would expect on a fitness magazine. Do you know what I
Mhm.
mean? Or she looks like she trains.
Yeah.
She looks good. She looks fit. Um, that adds into the
Yeah,
look.
definitely. Because even here we can see like on Freya, like there's that definition, there's those lines coming through. So it is you know you need to have muscle. This isn't. I don't want to say it's not an easy category. I think people get put off doing fit model because they don't think I don't know whether they think it's a lower category or what, but it
Mm.
isn't. But it's a
Mm.
nice entry level feder like category because PCA as well is well known for being more muscular and for harder and more advanced. So
Yeah.
I'm glad they've made this move because it means it's great
Mhm.
for you girls are first timers, or maybe you don't want to push the muscularity or whatever, like utilize it, like really utilize it.
Yeah, I also think as well, and like, I don't think we've talked about this yet, um, but I think it's a great move from a structural
Mhm.
perspective for PCA to add in fit model, because of the variation with the side pose where you can have a little bit of a twist on it.
Mhm.
I think there's less emphasis on side profile of the glute being as
Yeah.
exaggerated as what it would be in, let's say, bikini.
Yeah.
You know, you can be less, everything can be a little bit more minimized. So if you don't have that super rounded pop, but you have a really nice X frame in that front shot,
Yeah.
it might be that fit model suits you better because structurally,
Mm.
the exaggeration of the shape is more minimized.
And I do think the more girls that do this, you will be surprised actually how much muscle PCA are probably going to want to a degree. Not obviously loads, but they're going to want you to have some muscle because, you know, that's still showing a shape that is someone that trained. You know, they want to have some muscle there, but it is, you've got to bear in mind, you are always being judged by who turns up on the day. Because, like I said,
Oh,
you
for
know,
sure.
these girls have placed different placings to where they have now, and it is about who's going to be turning up, then who keeps getting rewarded. So the more you can all keep getting in these lineups and keep going against each other, it's going to keep fine tuning like that, what that like criteria is. And we can see here, like, you know, overall Freya does have a little bit more muscle up here. Her glutes are a little bit fuller, yet still I'd say she's a little bit leaner. So she's got that balance between having more muscle but being leaner. So, you know, that's what I'd say there. But this is also a good representation to how we can pose differently, because obviously it's something that we've spoken about before. You can hit either front pose, you can wear either bikini. So this is where it's
Hmm.
different from NPC. So to know that you can hit both. So go and play with your strengths. And also for
Hmm.
some people, if they are unsure and they don't want to get two different bikinis, then you know that you can just get your sparkly bikini and float between the two categories and see where you do fit. So I do like
Yeah.
this from PCA to be able to have that freedom.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that is, let's go back to here. So yeah, so that's Fit Model. But obviously, as always, if anyone ever has any questions when it comes to Fit Model or obviously any of the classes, pop us a message. Then we have, so there was three girls in the wellness. And Georgina, well done, Georgina, you won. And I was just saying to you, like muscle, like literally, like that
Oh,
upper body.
G used to do figure and
Yeah, that's
has
nuts.
moved into wellness this
Yeah.
season. It's the first time she's competed as a wellness girl.
Hmm.
Um, and I think she looks unreal.
She looks
Like I'd
great.
spoken to her a few times before she got on stage, and you know, it's just wonderful to see her come away with a successful showing, like regardless of whether that had ended in a win or not, because we all know like you can turn up on stage and be your best and look amazing, doesn't always mean that you're going to win.
Yeah.
But she went up there and she owned the look that she'd created, and I think it looks phenomenal.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Considering we do say, you know, wellness is one that is very like obviously structurally, but we've been saying like, you know, you need the muscle, you need that overall shape, you need the structural this. She's got that. Like she's got
Mm,
a fair bit of muscle on her upper body, but
mm,
it's not balanced. Like that's what you
yeah.
want. She's very unbalanced in all the best ways. Like her legs
Hmm.
nuts, they are lean. You can see she's lean. So
Yeah.
she's a really good representation for wellness, which is
You
great.
can see, I know this sounds like a random thing to say, but I love it when, and you can just about see it because obviously we've been done dirty with the super zoom.
Yeah. Thank
When
God
G
they didn't do
walked
any of your
for,
hand tie dirty.
but when G walked forward, you can see that she's got so much muscle in her quads that when she walks, the quads shake as they walk forward, and I love that in the wellness girls where they've
Yeah.
got so much muscle that it wobbles as it walks. It's great. I love it.
No, I'm just
But
waiting
look,
for
like when she
yeah.
comes forward,
Yeah.
there you can see the shape. I'm like, yeah, like
Look,
I
you
love
can
it.
see the shake and the muscle and the leanness. And that's the thing, is
Mm,
that is wellness. It is
mm,
muscle and it is condition. It isn't a
yeah,
softer lower that's just bigger.
no,
And you've got to have the density there. So yeah,
yeah.
she's a really good representation for wellness. So
There's
well
no
done.
question here that her lower body dominance is musculature.
Yeah.
This is kind of what we've been saying in the past few weeks, is like sometimes girls can think that they're wellness because they are lower body dominant, but some of that lower body is body fat because you
Mm.
can't see the muscle separation that clearly. Like here you can see the glute pop, you can see the quad striations, and when she turns to the back, like those glutes are in your face and the
Yeah.
hamstring definition is coming through. Like that's what you want to
And the
see.
fact she has that much muscle on top, but is still unbalanced for the right reasons, goes to show
Mm.
that she's got a lot of muscle on her lower half. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
And
really
I
exciting.
know that she plans to go, because obviously like this is her first shot at wellness, and I know she wants to build on this. So I know that her and Josh will know what they want to do in terms of building. But obviously, if I was gonna give any feedback, I'd just say rounding off that upper glute,
Hmm.
to give that more pop in the side shots. Because I think her rear shot is phenomenal. Like those glutes from the back, like more depth is always going to help in wellness.
Always more
Like,
glutes for everyone.
always more glutes, but like in that side shot, you can just, if that upper glute was just rounded a little bit more, that would just give that side profile a bit more depth
Mm.
and a bit more roundness, which I think would complement the look really nicely.
And I'd always say as well, like core, like her core's good at the minute, but keep that in
Mm,
check because
yeah.
it's you see it a bit like where wellness, like they push it in the off season,
Mm,
whether whatever it may be, food, peds, just not taking keeping core control, whatever it is. But that core can go. But if you can keep
mm.
that core tight and develop the lower half, that just makes your lower
Yes.
half look even better.
Oh,
So
for sure.
keeping that nice tight waist that you've got, like defined waist, and then building up those legs as well. Like it's gonna be nuts.
Yeah. Because
Yeah,
I think that's the difference of like a pro level wellness competitor and a top pro level competitor is that silhouette, the
yeah.
tiny waist into that figure eight. Well,
Hmm.
the snowman, little up top and big down the bottom, right? Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? But it's like it's having that waist to hip ratio being as
Hmm.
exaggerated as possible. So obviously, the thicker the waist gets, the more you have to build lower to
Yeah.
keep that silhouette there.
Definitely. But yeah, very exciting. Hopefully, well, she's got a bit universe, surely. But yeah,
We'll see. I hope so. I think she should. If she's not, she definitely should consider it.
we want to see you there.
We want to see it.
So then we had juniors. So we had three in juniors, and we saw Charlie again. So she is back on the stage. One thing I did notice, whether she's changed her bikini or not, but I noticed it was quite big for her in her show before because you can see her
I
pulling it
remember you saying,
so
yeah,
it looks like you can see she's pulled it a little bit, but when she was walking to the front, it looked like it fit a lot better. So hopefully it just made her
yeah,
feel more comfortable, but it did make a difference. The fact it does seem to fit a bit better as
mm.
well.
Yeah. I do wonder if maybe the adjustment of the bikini bottoms here was uh I don't want to call it a tick, but that's what I'm going to say. Like when you do certain things when you pose that you've just
Mhm.
gotten into a habit of doing.
Yeah,
Like I do it all the time where it's like when I set up certain poses, I pull my bottoms up to make sure they're over my hips.
yeah.
And I have to be really conscious about not doing that on stage and just leaving it alone. But if that was because you genuinely thought they were falling down, then of course pull them up. But like, yeah,
I know I'll
just
try. I will with PCA posing. I will always try and make sure my bikini bottoms are up. But I just remember in a reel before, it genuinely looked like they were falling down when she went to walk on stage.
mm,
But they look like they actually fit better now. So whether
mhm.
or something, I don't know. But otherwise, still lovely posing. Still looking like full with her muscles. I would
Mhm.
personally would still like to see her leaner because
Yeah.
I'm just can see a shape there, and I'd be
Mhm.
really intrigued, like especially with the I want to know if we can get striations in your delts, like
Yeah,
I
no,
can see there.
I definitely am in agreement. I think that if we can push for more condition for Universe, it's a hard look to beat, but
Mm.
I definitely feel that to fit the category criteria closer, more definition of the muscle is going to be needed, and it's not because you haven't got muscle, girl. Like
Oh,
you've got
that's why we want to see it.
tons of
The
muscle for
shape,
a junior
the
bikini girl.
silhouette of it is pure
Mm.
X-frame.
Yeah, so just that extra bit off, all,
Mm.
and it's not even that it's in one particular place, just all over.
Yeah.
It's just going to help give that definition more strongly, and just complete the
Yeah.
look, I think.
I think as well, what you got to remember, like you are junior, so we're not like we don't expect like masters or trained. Like you're not. Please don't go inside out peeled. It's not expected. But the fact that we can just about in that back shot, we can start to see this is what's showing us that there's that muscle there because we can see when you sit
Yeah,
into that glute shot that those lines push back. There is that glute ham tie. And when you set yourself up for this transition here, you can see those
yeah.
shoulders do come through. So that's why we like get quite excited because it's like if you chipped off a
Mm.
tiny bit more, it doesn't have to be anything crazy, but it would just really like in with your physique. That would just be like, oh shit, because yeah, the silhouette and
Yeah,
everything and the posing, the presentation is all really, really, really good. But that's
yeah.
just because we always want more.
Mhm. And I think as well, like at the championship shows where you're going for things like your pro card,
Mhm.
you want to be thinking about the fact that it's like if I win my class, I want to be in contention for getting that pro card. So
Yeah,
but you're not going to get given it if
just
you're
because you win.
not comparative with the pros, right?
Mm.
So, if you're looking at yourself versus some of the people that have turned pro in the junior category before, and you're like, do you know what, a bit of a way off condition wise, meet that, because otherwise what you risk doing is getting to Universe and being the best at Universe, but them going, she's good, she's the best one today, but if we put her in a pro lineup, she's not going to be competitive, so we're not going to give her the pro card. So, just have that in mind and be like, okay, of course I want to be the best on the day, but um, if I did win, would I be comparative to what
Mm,
a pro would look like?
definitely. And then that being said, we go on to the overall winner, which was Laura, who won the Bikini Masters. It doesn't state, but I'm
Congratulations.
based off the fact that Laura was the 35 plus because Alana was the 45 plus. It doesn't
Hmm.
say anything, but that's what I'm going off logically. So well done for your win and your overall win. And this is Masters. I know we've said before, between Masters and trained, like what are we looking for? But she is Masters. She is lean. She has muscle.
Hmm.
Very, very pretty look. Love the hair.
Hmm.
I wish I could do like my hair just doesn't get any volume. Mine just
Oh,
droops. It's so
I
sad.
I can relate.
You're complete opposite. Yours is like so voluminous.
I
Mine's just
have to
like
have mine pulled down because it covers everything. But no, I love this look for Masters.
mm,
Um, Polished, like the finish is nice. I know that sounds like a weird thing to say, but it's like, when that balance of condition to muscle is
yeah,
just right and it looks defined, but everything's kind of just pushing against the skin enough and it just looks smooth, and the finish of the physique is nice. The
yeah.
the tan complements it. Um, yeah, I
So
if I was going to give any feedback, like my feedback is more posing related, in a
yeah,
sense of, in some of the shots, we are dropping the hips and collapsing them under a bit, which means that when that happens, you lose that curve on the glute. So like here, can you see when
yeah.
the step back happens and the hips come underneath? Everything looks a bit straight up and down. So you constantly want to be thinking about having that arch in the lower back and keeping that glute pushed against the skin at all times, so that you're not leaving any question about whether or not you're the right fit. Like
Hmm.
here, again, hips tucked underneath, so we lose some of that glute curve. So yeah, and that's me trying to find something to
Yeah,
feedback
I
on.
agree with that. And then just a back pose, bring the chest up more and open up because
Agree.
it's got the muscle there. Just you're just doing yourself a little bit of a disservice with that
Mm.
to not open up. But yeah, like I said, the muscle that we got here, and it's probably one of the only categories you can get away with glute striations in bikini. If you ever
Mm.
want to do any other thing, don't no. But for masters, look at those glute striations.
I don't know if you're potentially squeezing
Squeezing and
your glutes
tensing
a little bit, Laura.
because they're
It
not in
looked
your
a little
glute
bit. I'm not.
shot.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm not saying that you are. It just looked like when you did it that you could potentially be squeezing your glutes, and if you are, that can create the striations. So, just focusing on keeping the glutes relaxed will just help make sure that the glutes look full, um, rather than striated.
Mm. I know for me, because talk to 2019 me, I would have never thought I would have had glute striations. That was genuinely. But I know for me, like once I hit my back shot, it's not so bad. But when I
Hmm.
transition, so that's normally what's common. So again,
Mm.
you might not be squeezing your glutes, but it's normally more common that if
Mm.
you're holding the pose and seeing it. But again, masters, you can get away with a little bit more. But if you are squeezing, because we can see in your glute shots and your side poses, the striations aren't there. It just might
Yeah.
be something that you can kind of see a bit what they'll make them look fuller.
Mm.
But yeah, otherwise,
Yeah.
again, what I want to touch on is how we spoke about smiling and how we've got Laura not smiling. And it's not to say she's not grumpy,
Yeah.
but she's posing to suit her and she executes it
Yeah.
so well. So very
Yeah.
confident,
It's
sultry,
warmth.
yeah. It's
Yeah, it's like I always say it's like just it doesn't have to be all smiles. It just has to give
no,
approachability. Like
yeah,
do I feel like someone could come feel like they could come and have a chat with me, or am
yeah,
I giving them the death stare of
yeah,
do not disturb? Do you know what I mean? It's that because she's got a smirk, a
yeah.
soft
And eye
smile which
contact.
looks approachable. Mm,
Mm. So that's
yeah.
what we were saying. She's bringing her personality, and it looks so good on her.
Hmm.
So you don't look at her and think, "Oh, she's not having a
Mm,
good time because she's not smiling," which is what you would think on the outside if
yeah.
you think of someone that just doesn't smile on stage. She's oozing like confidence and like that's her. I'm glad she's doing that because that's her moment on stage, and she's owning it, and you can see
Hmm.
that. So yeah, I
Agree.
get
Yeah.
drawn to that as well. So it's really nice to see. And then we have Alana. So we've seen Alana before. We have spoken about
Hmm.
Alana's posing as well. So speaking on the topic of posing,
Yes.
Alana's posing is very sassy,
Very confident.
very
Yeah.
confident. So she does a mixture of like big smiles, big moves. She takes her time
Hmm.
with things. So I like the fact she's taking their time. 'Cause again, this is your time. Like don't go like obviously crazy slow. Like keep it fluent. But yeah,
Yeah.
her facials and the way she carries herself on stage is a very confident look.
Yeah, it's easy to watch,
Yeah.
like because she's having a good time. And I always
Yeah.
say this to my clients, if you look like you're having a good time, sometimes you can overlook some of the things that maybe aren't spot on because you're just having a good time looking at that person. If I was going to give some feedback, I think the obvious thing for me was the squeezing of the back in the back
Yeah.
pose. So what we want to make sure is that we haven't got the arms back behind, which is the most common cause for
Mhm.
squeezing the back is your wrists and elbows being behind you. Now, also at the same time, that doesn't mean pull them forward because you're going to end up with like a
Yeah.
tortoise shell back, and we don't want that. But the wrists kind of out to the sides and more in line with maybe where your chest would be is
Like the
probably
front
appropriate.
pose. Think
Yeah.
is well, I've just waited for her to hit her front pose then, and she's obviously not pinching back there, her arms aren't too far forward, so it's like a front pose, but just a bit more open. Like allow that
Yeah.
chest to be up and allow those shoulder blades to open rather than close off.
I think what typically happens and what I've noticed from teaching is that people start with their hands by their sides, like this,
Yeah.
and then when they push the glutes back, their
arms
hands
fall
do
back.
this. So their
Yeah.
hands are still by their sides, but they're now changed in position
Yeah.
because the upper body position has changed. So you
Yeah.
want to come more here.
Forward. Yeah.
Yeah, so this is what I mean about in line with the chest. So you'd start here, push back through the glutes and have the hands more here. We don't want this.
No, don't
Or
do that.
this. Yeah.
No
Little
Superman
demo.
arms.
I call it the ski jump.
Oh yeah, you're not flying off anywhere. Just open up the back.
But
But
yeah,
yeah,
it's just making sure that you've got your. It's almost like you want to imagine like you're folding your elbow inside out to the back of the stage, because if you're doing that, then you won't at the same time be putting your arms behind you. It's
yeah.
more like a subconscious trick than anything else.
But no, like I said, confidence, everything. Literally, just back pose, open that nice and wide because it looks like we've got a little bit of muscle there. But carry on bringing that nice confidence. Like I said, she's posing with her eyes. You can see they're moving up and down, but it's a really nice, confident routine. Then we had Sophie. I think she was the only one in short. I actually met Sophie at the Two Bros, I want to say the regional. So lovely, literally such a lovely, lovely person. So,
We love nice people.
yeah, we like nice people. So actually at the Two Bros regional, I didn't know anyone doing the regional, but by the end, I had met Amy for the first time, who also competed. I'd met Tess for
Yes.
the first time. I'd met Sophie for the first time. So this is where be like you don't have to know anyone, you just have to be
Mm.
approachable. Like they came over and sat next to me, but then you just make a nice little circle because you look approachable, you're
Mm.
smiling at people, you're welcoming, you're offering to help people, you
Yes.
lend them your mirror or a charger or whatever. And that's where you are competition, but you're not, because like
Yeah.
you're you, they're not you. You've got to focus on just being happy and you enjoying that show day. Don't take it away from anyone
Yeah.
else, and you enjoy it for you. So
No.
yeah, so although she was the only one, she still looked really, really good. Abs looked nice and
Very, very suitable for bikini.
mm,
Like, it's, and I like the
mm,
effortless vibe of it. I'd probably say if I was being a little bit picky for PCA, you can afford to push that tension a little bit more in the poses, like you're trying to flex a little bit more because they like that muscularity.
yeah,
And if you are effortless, which is different to looking effortless, sometimes you can lose a little bit of that tension in the muscle that is going to help with that pop come through. But like you can see the shape is there. I think more muscle will just exaggerate that.
and this
um
that's also something we've touched on before, which I will always repeat and make sure we are repeating. Just because she's not as big as the pros, for example, does not mean, because I know for some girls we have said maybe try fit model. No,
yes.
Sophie is bikini. Like we can see the structure, we can see the muscle. She should
Hmm.
not do fit model at all. She is bikini, and yes, ultimately, and no matter what category, really to a degree, we can always have more muscle. But
Hmm.
because she is quite a smaller frame, but structurally we can
Yeah.
see she's got the delt, she's got the glutes, she's got the nice X frame. So yeah, really is a nice presentation for bikini, and she is
Hmm.
a fellow shorty. So yeah, it would have really nice to see her. I don't think she's doing the universe. I think she's got a different show that
Okay.
day. She said, but yeah, we can see the detail when she's hitting those poses. So yeah, so nice. She's hit it quite nicely and confidently, and she is a smiley poser.
Yeah. Yeah, we like that warmth.
And then we saw the return of Amy,
Hmm.
and she won again. So well done again, Amy.
Yeah.
Amy's on a roll.
I will say her look she looks drier this time than last time.
Mm.
I don't know if you necessarily pushed on for more condition, but I would say the condition looks sharper. And like I thought she was sharp last time. So
Look
like
at her
I'm
back.
not it's crazy. But I think she has one of those physiques that suits that level of conditions. Like not every physique suits being that sharp. It's
Mm.
like with me, for example, I don't actually necessarily suit being a little on the softer side. Like my physique tends to look better when I'm a little sharper.
Yeah,
But that can be the opposite for some people, where if you push them harder, that doesn't always necessarily mean the look looks better. Sometimes it can actually take away from things like the structural shape.
yeah.
But I think Amy has one of those physiques that favors looking leaner.
Because thing is as well, this is where it's so hard because with taller people, to get them so much leaner, they can start looking skinny. But
Yeah.
because she's got such a good top line, like structurally wide
Mm,
clavicle, but she's got muscle there as well, like it carries like a really nice strong top line with her, and like her waist is still non-existent.
yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
it's a very lean look. So this is what we're talking
Mm.
about when you say you can get freaky with PCA.
Oh yeah. I mean, I don't think my feedback would be much different to last time. I think that, and the feedback that I would give is just more muscle. Do you know what I mean? But like I that's not something that she can do anything about in the middle of her prep.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like, at the moment it's just tweaking the look, playing around with more condition versus more fullness to see which look favors her structure the best
Mhm.
right now. I quite like this look on her frame. In my imagination, I'm like, this level of condition with a bit more size.
Yeah.
Um, but like I like this. I like
Yeah.
this.
Poses very well as well, nice and smiley. And yeah, she's her posing the way she's executed it as well. She's taken her time, a little bit rushed at the end, but I know sometimes
Yeah.
obviously they can start calling the next person, so it just makes you feel a bit rushed. But holding the poses, making sure she takes her time, like the hand movements. I can't pull off those hand movements. I don't do them, but I do love when people do them. That like when they do
Hmm.
them well, not when they flap about the place. So she's executing like her hand movements really well. So I
Lovely.
imagine she'll be at Universe. Correct me if I am wrong. But then we will see you unless you're doing more. I think she's in peak week again. She
Mm.
might be in peak week again. I'm not sure. But anyway,
Northeast.
mm, unless she's doing I swear I saw her saying back to another peak week. So unless there's another show, or I don't know. Anyway, hopefully you'll be at Universe. We'll see you at Universe.
We hope to see you there.
And then we have trained. So there was
Train.
two in trained, and Alice was the girl who won. So Alice is jacked.
Hmm. We love a jacked bikini trained.
Mm. So I actually
uh,
love a lot of Alice's poses, apart from that power pose.
mhm.
So I would say again, like where we said with the back pose, where people pose with their arms and just pull their arms forward, the elbows have just come forward and like completely clamped everything off. Because when we're in the back pose, like that, I love that back pose, like there's between the shoulders and then the glutes and how dug out everything is. It
Hmm.
looks really good. So hitting the power pose. Keep the elbow, like don't bring the elbows to the front because you're just closing everything off. You've got so much muscle. Like keep the elbows out to side, like lift through your like armpits rather than like
Yeah.
thinking that you've got to bring those arms forward. But it's I mean I love it. It's nice, and I always love a trained physique. Muscle, if
Oh, I
you've
love a
got
trained look.
the muscle, if you've got the condition, and she's really pretty with it. So yeah, I do
Yeah.
like this look.
I would just say, Alice, that like Georgia said, your poses are strong. I think that the front, both variations of the front pose need tweaking a little bit in the upper body to do your frame justice because what is happening is George has already touched on the power pose with the rounding forward here, which means you're losing your height and width in your delts and everything's getting kind of compact and shortening your top line. But also when you're taking your hands off your hips, um, the shoulders rolling backwards and you're not quite pushing that forward enough to get those shoulders up and forward in the right place. So I personally feel like based on the rest of your poses, both hands off the hips would favor your shoulder placement better. But it's just about when you do that, not letting the shoulders roll back
Mm,
because then you're not going to be able to see them. And that will be natural to happen when you rotate your elbow under like that. But what you need to do is rotate the elbow under and then push the delt up and forward to make sure it's the highest and widest part of your top frame. So you're doing all the right things. It's just that slight positional tweak at the end to
mm.
correct the shoulder rolling backwards that will just give that top line its
Pop.
explosiveness.
Yeah, because you've got the muscle
Yeah.
there, so you want to show
Mhm.
it off. But yeah, it was nice to see a few more numbers. Like we said, the shows are getting slowly busier and busier. So it
Mhm.
will be very interesting to see how this next weekend goes. Then, like we said,
Mhm.
it is the first timers, And then it is let's stop that for a minute. It's the
Well,
first
there's
time
first timers and naturals, isn't there, on the
that's
same
that.
weekend?
Then obviously it's the universe, the qualifier before
Qualifier.
the actual universe as well. So it is in it's normally in Hull, isn't it? It's not in Hull this year, the universe.
It's in
I think
Derby.
yeah. So that's actually not far from me at all, which is lovely. So I don't know if it's in a new venue or not, but yeah, no,
Have you not been to the Derby venue?
I don't think so. Oh no,
So
yeah,
th
it's in like the Valiant Hall or something. So yeah, I
yeah, yeah,
think
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. So
yeah.
it's actually a partner venue to the whole venue.
Oh,
Um,
I'm just
the
glad they're
same
not in
people that
Hull.
run,
Thank
yeah, the
God.
same people that run the whole venue run the Derby one. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I like the whole one.
I like it. I just don't want to travel to
Um,
it. It's so far. I guess it's
I mean,
not too far for you.
but to be fair, neither Derby nor Hull are far for me. Derby's actually a little bit closer, so I'm
Oh,
not
okay.
mad.
Yeah.
But yeah, it'll be a good watch. I love watching the championship shows. It's just, and as
Mm.
well when you get the internationals coming over, because you get that a lot. I'd say out of all of the shows, Universe is the one that a lot of the international athletes come over for.
Yeah.
Get a lot of the South Korean team come over, which they always blow my
Oh,
mind when they
they
come over.
come
I'm
in like
like,
herds. They just come as like a pack
wow.
and dominate.
Yeah, and they're sick, to be fair. Like their physiques are unreal. And then I think the last time, uh, not last year, but the year before, I interviewed, and there was like a whole team from Spain, Italy, Germany. Um, yeah, there were just there was lots of international representation, and it's pretty cool when you
Mm.
see that.
Yeah, so it'll be exciting. So we'll see how the next few weeks go. So do tag us, let us know that you are enjoying this, that you're watching it. If you want us to cover anything, let us know. But yeah, they're already quite long episodes, so we try and cover as much as we can. But if we're missing anything, always let us know.
I think at the end of the day, like, where we've got weeks coming up where we've got like one show to cover. If there's things that you want as fillers, if you've got any questions for us or anything, we'll try and fit some stuff in. I know some of you guys wanted updates on us, so maybe we'll include that at some point in terms of what we're up to and
Yeah, if
all of
you
that
want to
good
know what we're
stuff.
actually up to, then ask and we will
And
tell.
guests, if you've got any guests you want to see,
Yeah,
let us know.
we will do our best. But that is episode 5 or 6. I'm gonna say 6 because then it'll make Universe 10. But I'll know by the time I post this. So
It will be revealed, all will be revealed.
yes, remember to like, subscribe, share, comment, all that jazz, and we will see you in the next one. See you
Bye,
later.
guys.